then I signed up for the work for the governor, Lewis on ordinance, tank mechanic. You know, that's when. Then I met a guy out there, and he found out I was a mechanic. And that's when I bought a plot on Pine Street. And that's when I built my gas station.
You built it from the ground up?
Well, this guy had the breed down there on Pine Street, and so I bought a piece of land from him, and I built it up. I put a sign up, need field date and all that stuff. So after I got all that together, then I said, well, I'm going to build me a gas station then in the flats, you know. So I built a 40 by 50 gas station, and Arthur Vaughn and all the contractors, they helped me, you know, they built and everything. And
Arthur Vaughn was another African-American man that...
Right, he was a country, him and Woods and Callie and all of them was black contractors here. So I got that together and everything.
So you were the first African-American to have a gas station in Warren, Ohio.
Warren, Ohio, yeah.
And what was the name of the gas station?
Cape of Ohio Service.
Ohio. So how did that work? Because I would think not too many black people had gas stations back then. So did you have to contact this Ohio company? And
no, what happened, I was doing it on my own. You know, I make so much money after I bought this piece of property, you know, then I would pay the Callie and all of my family. But I had a hard time trying to get it together. One day, a guy came by and he said, I see you trying to get your gas station. But anyway, he said, what's the problem? I said, money, man, what do you think? You know. He said, well, how much money you need? I said, about $4,000. Well, let's go back. I had my property paid for, so I went out to Second National Bank and I tried to borrow $4,000 to get my pumps in and everything. Second National Bank said they didn't have it, you know. I said, well, I got a clear deed and everything. So they turned me down.
Do you think it was because you were a black man?
Yeah. Well, hey, what else? They didn't want you to get ahead. So I went down there. They wouldn't let me have $4,000. But I went down to Clyde Cole. The manager of Clyde Cole Cadillac place was named Pat. I said, Pat, I said, and a Cadillac cost you $22,000. And I said, hey, order me a Cadillac. And I said, I want to finance through Second National Bank. He said, why Second National Bank? I said, because. I said, it's a little secret. I said, just get the finance through Second National Bank. So about a week he called me up. He said, I said, come down the street. So I went down to Clyde Cole. He said, I got your loan through. I said, who you get it through? He said, you wanted Second National Bank, right? So he said, I got it through Second National Bank. I thought they were going to put me in jail. I went down to Second National Bank. I raised hell with them. I said, you can finance for $22,000, but you couldn't let me have $4,000. Because I want my kids to sleep on a white sheet and bed like yours. And they won't name it on the Medicare. Somewhere they couldn't get it. But anyway, so I went back down to Pine Street and started hustling again. A guy came out one day and that's when he asked me, what's the problem taking so long to get you together? I said, what do you think, money? He said, well, I think I can get you $20,000. I said, what do you mean $20,000? I said, where are you coming from? So he came back a week later, he said, well, I got you $20,000. So really I start.
This is a white man helped you? When the bank wouldn't help you?
But anyway, I don't know where he got it. I know where he got it from Wall Street, New York City. But anyway, I got it all together. He came back. He said, well, I see you making progress, so I'm building all over it. Now I need money to get my stock in, oil fields and main, stuff. He said, well, I'll get you another 20. That's Standard Oil. I said, well, how can I pay all this? He said, the obligation to pay the company back a penny a gallon, So he came back, brought me another $20,000, and I started blooming. That's when I got
So how long did you have the gas station?
Let's see, 51, 70. what, about 10 years, I guess. Yeah.
And so did you repair cars too, or it was
Oh,
just
yeah, I
for
was
gas?
fully equipped to gas, repairs, and everything. 40 by 50
Who were
bathroom.
who were some of your mechanics that worked there?
Lloyd Watson, he passed away. That's my brother-in-law. And just me and him. And then he could make more money. I told him go to Bank Chevrolet because he went Lloyd. Then he went to Bank Chevrolet. And then Gail Price was my body man, you know. And so that's where we started. And my brother worked for me. And Lomax Springs. I got Lomax out of prison. and he said I never would get rid of him. He was indicted with me for life, you know. But anyway, that's I had helpers, you know, come around. So 1971, I think. That's when I went to Detroit to drive a tractor and trailer back, a tractor back for a guy, Weaver. He was in dump business. So then outside, and when he told me I should go into trucking business, which I had been thinking about this because I was trying to follow the money. And so I put my business up for sale. And nobody wanted it. Well, our corrugator was building drums. They didn't want it. I used to do all their maintenance and everything, and they said they'd like to have it, but they really didn't need it. So John Spain, he just had come out of law school, and I seen his name in the paper. So my sister died in 1971. I had to go back to Mississippi to take care of business. So I had my place up for sale, and I told John, I didn't want between, because I had paid Standard Oil down to $20,000. So that's all I really wanted. I wanted $20,000 for my business. So I take my business up, and John, he taking it over. So I went home and taking care of my business down in Mississippi. I came back, and John called me up. Well, I came back and I opened up a mechanic shop on Walnut Street. Yeah, and but anyway, John sold a place for me, and I went up and I said, "What do you?" He said, "You don't, you can't guess what I got for it." I said, "No, I can't. Not $1,000." He says, "I got 40,000." So I got enough money to pay Standard Oil off 20,000, and I went in the mechanic business in one. And then in 56, I went into trucking business. You know, tried to buy a truck. They wouldn't sell me one. To say I couldn't make no money with it. Or why, you know.
But you really could have, but again.
And so they wouldn't sell me a new truck. I said, well, I built me one. So I built my own first 18-wheeler myself.
You build an 18-wheeler?
Yeah, I went to Cleveland, bought me cabin chassis, and I went to Junkyard, bought me motor and main gear, put rear ends and air ride. I got pictures. And I paid $1,000 for this Diamond T, and I put it together and ran to New Mexico for 10 years, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when I went in.
Wow, so you traveled that extensively in a truck for years?
After I came out of World War II, I ran the road. That's when I ran the road for 50 years.
And so what did you haul in your truck?
Everything from steel to produce, everything. I ran out of Packer to New Mexico for 20 years, hauling Packer electrics. Right. Well, I'm going to hit him, so when I first came to Warren, when I got to Warren, the hot dog shop, I guess I was a hustler. I had $1 in my truck, pickup, 3840 Winchester. And then after I went into trucking business, like I said, I ran the road for 50 years, 18-wheeler. That's why I can't straighten my arms out now. And I haul from produce, California. I ran every state in the union. I know every little back road and everywhere. I dodged the scale and all that stuff. 1971, I had an accident down in Effingham, Illinois. And Decatur, I was in the hospital for 28 days in Decatur. And this was a surprise to me. My baby, my wife, her mother, we had separated then. But anyway, I was singing when I had this accident. And I was broken arm, this right arm broken. I was laying up in the hospital. Here come three girls, three women. My wife over there, her two friends worked at General Motors. They came down and stayed 2 weeks with me. And she was my best customer, one at the gas station. And I was surprised to see her there, you know. And that's how we started up back. And,
Wow, so you almost died in that car accident if you were there for almost a month.
yeah. This arm broken here with 6 screws in it. I broke this arm, that's it. And
How did the accident happen?
right front tire blew out on my truck, and I held it together. I went down the embankment, I fell out. The door came over, I fell out. And all the guys say I jumped out, but I fell out the truck because my truck ended up out in the soybean field. Upright, I had 3 steel cores on it, 40,000 pounds of steel cores on it, and the truck was straight up. And
So you had some angels with you that day, didn't you?
huh?
You had some angels with you that day.
Angels with me. I mean, good angels. And highway patrol came by, and I was sitting on the side of the highway, and I had to call the ambulance, but highway patrol taking me in this car and taking me to the hospital down in Decatur. And I stayed there 20 days. When I came home, then I went into her care because she had came down. But after I came home, I got well, and then after that...
So did you continue to drive trucks after that, or did you give it up?
No, I continued. One of my mechanics would take 2 of us to drive a truck because I could drive and he could shift. So, and that was B.J. Johnson. He was he was one of my truck drivers. So, and after that, that just was the way of life, you know. And my wife we got together. And, but after that, I didn't see her no more in 10 years, because, you know, I was trucking business. And so then we got together and we ended up out here.
So I admire the fact that you've always had this entrepreneurial spirit. So did you get that from your parents? Did they encourage you to work for yourself?
Well, see, my father, he was always independent. And he told me when I was a kid, said they spell your name just like everybody at the M-A-N, man. And he told me don't bow down on my knees for nobody. So I always wanted to be a man. See, my brother, he passed away when he was 83 years. And but he was the oldest, but I was always, when we was home with my mother, I was always the man. But I was younger than him, but I was the man, you know. And my mother always used me as the head of our house, you know. My brother, he was great, but he didn't have nerve to get out there on his own, you know. He was a guy, he's just like a lot of people, you know, they know how to take orders from other people, but they didn't want to get out on their own.